Welcome everyone to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash and the smile tells it all. The undoubted superstars of European football are back. La Liga is back this weekend and I cannot wait. It starts on Thursday. We're going to be covering Thursday, Friday, Saturday and games on Sunday. I have an unbelievable pair, obviously Martin Green, and we've got Paco from La Liga Lowdown who's going to be joining us. Paco, bienvenida. Paco, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien. That's great, being welcomed this way in Spanish. I've been, watching you guys in the last few weeks and the last few months, that you've been doing a great job while we had over here in Spain the hiatus due to obviously the coronavirus outbreak. But we are so excited to be back, and I'm so excited to be with you guys in order to speak about this weekend's games, which are absolute bangers, most of them.
They are, and they normally are in La Liga, and it's so popular around the world. Now, Paco, just give us a little bit about Paco and La Liga Lowdown, please.
Well, Valencia-based journalist. I've been working at La Liga Lodon for around 2.5 years. Everyone knows and can follow us at Twitter at La Liga Lowdown, and we provide all of the best insight into Spanish football. We sort every single news item. We have access to the stadiums, to the fans, and we try to get all of those pieces gathered together, especially in such critical moments as this one, because we are super excited and super pumped for football to be back, and fans have been demanding the latest information about every single game. So we've been working hard to try to bring the goods into the table, and we hope that this weekend delivers, especially in the quality of those games.
Well, if you like the start of this video, then please give us a thumbs up, press subscribe and ring the bell, and we will let you know, and you will never ever miss any content ever again. Now, that's Paco on one side. Now, the other side, we can't have La Liga without having Martin Green. Martin, how are you, mate? Have you missed La Liga?
Oh, I've missed it terribly, Flash. It's great to have it back. I was very excited when the Bundesliga came back and we finally got some proper football again. But I'm a much bigger fan of La Liga. I think the overall level of quality is much higher. You see a lot more technical ability on the ball. And I think we've got some really great games lined up in the first couple of weeks. So, yeah, really looking forward to getting back into it and hopefully making some money in the process.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. We'll be giving you all the best picks. Before we go on to the first game, though, Paco, tell me, what do you think is the feeling around around Valencia, where you are, and Spain in general, of how the games are being received?
Plenty of hype, Flash, because people have been waiting for 3 months to their weekly dose of this kind of excitement, and nobody expected football to be back so soon. But things have been developing properly in the health area in our country, and fortunately La Liga is able to be back and is going to deliver 11 games in only 1.5 months, over 6 weeks. And that is going to be one of the key and crucial items of the next couple of match days. The way the games are going to be compressed, and every single team is going to have to play every 3-4 days. That is going to be very demanding physically on absolutely all of the players. And let's see how teams adapt. That is going to be one of the crucial aspects that any bettor is going to have take into consideration. The way players and teams are going to adapt to that high physical demands.
Yeah, Martin, strength of squad. I mentioned it when Bundesliga came. I think it's even more of a factor in La Liga because, as I said to you, undoubted superstars of the European game. The strength of bench, the players that can obviously keep the ball, make teams run around. And if you've got a team like Barcelona or Real Madrid, and then you've got to go and play another tough game like Atletico, you are going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I would certainly agree with that. I'd say it's probably going to be a bit hotter in Spain as well. So in the second half, those legs are going to get weary. If you've got a big squad, then you can bring on some good players in the second half, especially if you've got pacey forwards on the bench, can come and run the opposition ragged. Yeah, I've noticed in Germany that teams with big squads are doing well. Teams at the top and the bottom are doing well. Mid-table teams are struggling for motivation. And home advantage just seems to have vanished. A lot of away wins going on in Germany right now. So interesting to see if some of those trends carry over into Spain.
Yeah, around 50. It's around a 50-50 split. I mean, you would never believe that 50% of the teams are going away from home and actually winning. Now, Rafa, let's give the people at home a little reminder of what the bottom of the table looks like, please. So we've got Espanyol there. Everyone's played 27 games. Espanyol, they're at 20 points. Leganes at 23. Mallorca rely on all their points at home at 25. Celta Vigo 26. Eibar 27. Manager's crying that he doesn't want the 5 subs. Thinks it's going to be too much, too many games. And Valladolid are looking over their shoulder at 29. Paco, it's so tight at the bottom.
Yes, it's both very tight, both at the bottom and at the top. And in this case, I think that many of these teams are going to suffer because, as Martin said earlier, the squads aren't deep enough. Most of them haven't played this season in Europe. Espanyol might be the only exception, but we'll talk about them in a while. But I think most of them are going to suffer because the way their squads have been designed last summer, nobody expected to have to play 11 games in such short amount of time. And I think they are not ready because competing in Copa del Rey and La Liga is not the same as competing in La Liga every single 3 or 4 days. So I expect many huge bumps in the road, for example, for Valladolid, or for example, we are looking at Eibar, who has been very solid at home, traditionally solid at home. But let's see Eibar, how they develop their game when they don't have their fan base to support them. So there are a number of different factors that are going to come in to change the result and the end game of most of the games.
Yeah, Martin, Paco makes a great point that them teams that have been reliant on the home fans getting their points home, like Mallorca, like Eibar, they could come unstuck. But I mean, we're looking at the bottom 6 there, and we've got 9 points from top to bottom. It can change around in a few games.
Oh, it certainly can, Flash. Yeah, I totally agree with the points that Paco made there. Teams with small squads that have relied on getting a lot of good home results in recent years are going to struggle. The first team you look at is Mallorca. They were horrendous on the road, but really, really good at home. So I think they look like they're in real trouble. I can't see Celta Vigo going down. I think they've got too much quality going forwards. I think they'll get out of trouble. Espanyol might even pull off a great escape after changing their manager, making a big signing of the Toma over the January period. So I think it's looking really worrying for Valladolid there, and for Eibar. They could also get pulled into it. Should be a really, really fascinating relegation battle in the weeks ahead.
Okay, Rafa, we've done the relegation dogfight. There's 6 teams. Maybe even someone else might be sucked in because they think we'll take our foot off the pedal, we'll just cruise through, and they don't pick up any points. And those teams that are desperate for points might just catch them. Let's have a look at the top, the business end, please, Rafa. And, I mean, this is unbelievable. You got Madrid at 45, Getafe 46, Sociedad 46, Sevilla 47, and the 2 big guns, Real and Barca, Paca, sitting at the top. It is a 2-horse race, but it's also very interesting for them Champions League places.
Yeah, you know, it's become some sort of tradition. If Atleti don't have a good season, a proper season, it ultimately comes down to Barca and Real Madrid. That's, you know, a given for the last few years, 5, 6, 7 years. But, you know, this season's Champions League race, it's the most exciting one in quite a while. And, you know, Rafa chopped the table in the 6th, but he could go down like 2 or 3 more spots because we have Valencia with 42, Villarreal with 38, Granada with 38, even Athletic Club with 37. They are, you know, at the distance. Winning 2 games would mean that they could go on and become contenders for European spots. So I think that the favorites are going to be the ones who have been consistent for the whole season. Sevilla are in very good form. Getafe also, Real Sociedad. But again, this is something that we couldn't count on 3 or 4 months ago. Those teams were in form back in March. Let's see how they come back after the hiatus, because I don't think that they're going to be at the same level of consistency, energy, and also results. Let's see how those teams come back from being, you know, unemployed or without working or without playing for over 6, 7, 8 weeks.
Yeah, will the mentality still be in holiday mode? I look at them sides and think to myself, I've got to be with Sevilla, and it's great, and we're going to talk about them in a second, because obviously they're going to have to hit the ground running because they're up against, it's in a massive local derby. But also the desperation of Atletico, Martin.
Yeah, I can see Atletico finishing 3rd in the table this season easily. They've got a bigger squad than the teams around them. They've got the experience. They've got the nous. They'll get a couple of key players back. He can actually change the defence. He's got 4 very good centre-backs, Diego Simeone at Atletico Madrid. I can see them grinding out plenty of results home and away. Yeah, to me, again, I'm looking at the teams with the big squads. I think it will be between Sevilla and Valencia for 4th place. And when you consider that Sevilla have a 5-point head start, you would expect them to just about hold off Valencia in the final weeks of the season. Getafe are very strong, but again, a bit of a smaller club, maybe not quite so accustomed to playing so many games. They often struggled when they were playing Europa League and La Liga. So when they're going into this busy fixture period, I think they might fall away a little bit. And I can see Real Sociedad dropping out of there as well. And then obviously just the fascinating 2-horse race for the title. I saw that Real Madrid were complaining this week, saying that Barcelona had the kind of fixture list that they play first every time. So the pressure's going to be on Real Madrid to get the job done. That could be enough to swing it in Barcelona's favour, but I think it's going to be very close and very interesting.
Okay, before we get into the first game, just remember, press the link below because there's an article's been wrote about La Liga this week from all of us at SBR. So enjoy it. Now let's get on. It's the El Gran Derby. Paco, I'm going to start with you. It's Sevilla -105, the draw +285, and Real Betis +300. What a game Thursday night, the derby.
Yeah, and also I have to mention that we already know the referee for the game, who is going to be Mateu Laoz, and he is quite the gunslinger. You know, he likes to show plenty of bookings, so that could be one of the factors because he's shown around 100 bookings this season, both yellow and red cards. That's going to be a very relevant factor in this game. And also, you know, Sevilla, they are third, as you mentioned earlier, and I think that they have the pressure to keep winning. They are clear favorites in this one, but at the same time, they won't have their passionate fans supporting them. It's going to be El Gran Derby, but not as grand as it used to be, because with fan base in the stands, that's something different than the thing that we're going to watch and see this next weekend. By the way, Lopetegui said that it's very tough to try to replicate that kind of atmosphere. So I think Sevilla are favorites. They're clear favorites. Let's see if the squad delivers in the way Lopetegui is demanding them. And at the same time, Real Betis, with no pressure at all, with no opposite fans yelling at them and trying to press them into failing, I think they could, you know, at some point try to fright Sevilla and maybe pick up a single point over there. So Sevilla clear favorites, but do not rule out Real Betis.
Do you fancy both teams scoring though, Paco?
Yeah, because they don't know how to defend properly. I think we're going to see quite a few goals, and it's become some sort of tradition in the last few seasons. But Betis have quite the easiness to score, although Loren Moron hasn't been in the same form as he was at the beginning of the season, and Sevilla have plenty of strikers that can be able to score. So I think we're going to see quite a few goals in the game.
There you go, Martin. I'll just serve you up your first La Liga dish. And I've got Sevilla, a good price at -105. I've got cards from the gunslinging referee. And also I've got both teams to score. Where's your value?
Has to be both teams to score for me in this one, Flash. Both teams to score has paid off in 21 of 27 Real Betis games so far this season, which is the highest in the league. I know it's a bit difficult to look back considering we've had such a long break, but they really do play gung-ho football, poor in defence, but they are quality going forwards with Nabil Fekir and others. I think both of these teams, like Paco said, struggle to defend, but they can be exciting going forward. It's a big local derby. It's the first game back. There's going to be lots of eyes on it. It's going to be a big televised game, so they're going to put on a good show. Has to be both teams to score at 1.78. If you want a bit more value, maybe both teams to score at over 2.5 goals, but I'm just sticking with both teams to score.
Yeah, I want more value. So I'm going to be looking about, 1.95 for both teams to score and over 2.5?
Yeah.
Lovely, thank you very much. And remember, that game's on Thursday. So now we'll move on and we're going to go to Friday, and it's Granada +230, the draw +210, and Getafe. Everyone's overachiever. Normally you say underachiever, and they're overachieving at +155, Paco.
Yeah, you know, Flash, I think both teams are overachieving this season because everyone expected Granada to be fighting for their life at this point because they had just been promoted to La Liga last summer, but they have been very, very good for most of the year. They surprised everyone in the first few match days, and they were able to get and achieve big wins, and they have remained more or less consistent in the mid-table, and even they have the chance, if they win this game, to try to climb up and try to add themselves to the fight and to the fray regarding European places. Getafe, however, I think are favorites just because of the opposite argument made by Martin. They are excellent defending, both home and away, and they have made a reputation for being one of the most aggressive sides in La Liga. So I believe that we're going to see just the opposite game of the one we talked about a few minutes ago. Very few goals, plenty of defending, plenty of tackling, and quite a lot of fouls. And I expect both managers, Diego Martinez and Pepe Bordalás, they've been two of the biggest sensations of the season. In my view, they've been both candidates for manager of the season alongside Imanol Alguacil of Real Sociedad. And I think they're going to provide a very, very tactical game. Let's see which of those teams comes on top.
Yeah, brilliant, Paco. I must have sent you my notes because I've gone for under 2.5 goals. I've gone for draw at half-time. I think Getafe are going to protect what they've got away from home and try and pick up their points at home. And that's if it doesn't go the way of the Bundesliga and away sides dominate. Draw half-time. You like that one, Martin?
Yeah, sounds good, Flash. I agree that this is going to be a fascinating game, but probably low scoring between two of the surprise packages in Spanish football in recent years. Getafe were fantastic last season, and it was really good to see them picking up momentum again before the break. Granada came flying out of the blocks at the start of the season. Then their form sort of wobbled a bit, but they were really picking it back up again as well. So I think the break came at a really bad time for both of these teams. Could have derailed their momentum. Be interesting to see how they pick up. But yeah, I think Getafe probably have to have the advantage here, considering there's not going to be any fans inside the stadium. Away teams have been doing very well elsewhere. So I think they can go there and get a result. I'm going to go for Getafe draw no bet. It's 1.71. They beat Granada 3-1 earlier this season, so I think they'll have a bit of a psychological advantage, and they're battling for a Champions League place, so I think they can go there and get a result.
Yeah, I like the under 1.5 first half goals as well. Now, okay then, I'm going to put you right on the spot then, Paco. We welcomed you. You're into the hot seat straight away because loyalties will be split here. Valencia at -133 to draw, plus 320, and Levante at plus 375. Paco, I know you love both these sides.
Yeah, and actually have the shirts over here. It's going to be an amazing derby. It's quite a pity that it takes place in the same weekend as the Sevilla derby, because I think that it should have more media coverage. The tensions are running high. Both teams, by the way, previously today had an amazing gesture. Both teams trying to get united together, trying to fight the coronavirus situation, trying to get friendship along. But once the ball starts rolling around, that friendship will be over. And I expect greatness from this game, this matchup between Valencia and Levante. Valencia, remember, are in a very tight spot at this point. They are 7th, and they absolutely need to reach to the first 4 spots. They need the Champions League qualifying, because if not, it would be financial disaster for them next season. A very big point is that Maxi Gomez, who wasn't supposed to play again this season, has had time to recover from an injury and will be available for Albert Celades in this game. Levante, on their behalf, they have nothing to lose. They have the chances of winning the game and trying to make their season ending less irrelevant. They are sitting in the middle of the table. They are 12th. They are far enough from relegation spots, but at the same time, they are very far away from European places. So I think that they need to win in order to make the final games of the season to have a little bit of spice. If they don't, it would be very, very boring for them.
Goals in this game, Paco?
I expect goals. Because I think Maxi Gomez is going to be back with a vengeance after being injured for a few games before the break. And I think Levante has a pretty powerful forward line with Roger Martí, who, by the way, wants to be the best Spanish striker. And he has that aim at hand. If he scores, he can make it and overcome other Spanish goal scorers. They have Morales, they have Campaña, so they have plenty of firepower in front.
And obviously with the European Championships now being put off till next season, he can have a real run at that. Big goal for him, and always keep an eye on that because he could be an anytime goal scorer as well, Martin.
Yeah, he certainly could be. This looks like another interesting game. It's great to have a couple of big derbies to kick things off because, it's just really going to build up the momentum among the fans, and everyone's going to know that football's back, and it's very, very exciting. I'm a bit cautious about this one from a betting perspective, though. I know Valencia picked up a very important win there earlier in the season, but again, I think there's going to be tensions running high. It's going to be a really important game for both teams. And I'm just a little bit nervous about Leganes pulling off a surprise. I think a lot of money has gone on the draw, apparently. Talking to a contact at one of the sports books earlier today, he said a draw's been very popular on this one. I was leaning towards Valencia, but then when I heard that, it kind of put me off. So I think I'm probably going to pass this one. Probably just have 2 passes within this round of fixtures, and this will be one of my passes because I'm not really sure how this is going to go.
Listen, a pass is never, ever a problem because you never lose a bean if you pass up. Sometimes it's the most sensible way to go. I remember both of them games we've just done, they were on Friday. So now we're going to go to Saturday. Traditional, let's go. Espanyol at plus 117, the draw plus 220, and Alaves at plus 287, Paco.
Yeah, Martin talked about earlier about the potential great escape by Espanyol, who somebody could think it's very, very tough to them to pull it off. But at the same time, I think they have improved quite a bit under Abelardo. They are defending much, much better. And, Raúl de Tomás, RDT, is dynamite. In front, he had an amazing and immediate impact. Once he came to the club back in January, he has played 6 games. He scored 4 times. I think that under this kind of striker, Espanyol might be able to grow and try to come out, clawing out from the relegation places. So I think in this game against Alaves, who are more or less in the same situation as Levante, they are mid-table, they are not suffering, they have no further aims and goals this season, and they might watch, some kind of calm, relaxed end of season. If they don't pay attention and they don't do their best, Espanyol might win this one because even though they don't have the home crowd, they have the need of picking up the points.
Yeah, Martin, if we get the Espanyol of the European games, then they win. If we get the early season Espanyol, then anything could happen. But I think the other thing we've got to understand here is if any team that starts up tempo has an aggression about them, has an aggression in their DNA, then I would want to be with them teams very early on. So if they've got like that attacking mentality, I want to be with them, Martin.
Yeah, definitely. Real season of 2 halves for Espanyol. They had to do something drastic, didn't they? We saw how good they were last season. They lost a couple of key players, and then they were only successful in Europe this time around. Really horrible results domestically. Since Abelardo came in, there's been a real upturn, and like Paco said, de Tomás has been on fire up front. When he was injured, they struggled. But when he's leading the line, that gives the opposition real problems. I'm a little bit wary of Alaves just because they're poor on the road. And teams that have been poor on the road seem to be doing a lot better in Germany since the restart in these empty stadiums, which does give me cause for concern. I'm definitely leaning towards Espanyol because their motivation to win this game is going to be much higher. And I think they really can come flying out of the blocks. Just a little bit nervous that Alaves might nick a draw there. So leaning towards Espanyol, but not going to possibly pull the trigger on this one.
Yeah, Espanyol plus 117. I'd expect that to be minus if it was like maybe 3.5 months ago. So I think Espanyol, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Don't complicate it. Just get on the home side now. Celta Vigo plus 160. The draw plus 245. And Villarreal plus 188. I had this as a draw, Paco.
Yeah, because I think they both desperately need the points, even though their situations are far from the same. In Celta's case, they are right now 17th. They are only 1 point over relegation spots. So there has been plenty of controversy in the last few days with one of their forwards, Pione Sisto, who, he got fined for traveling over to Denmark, and he got like a 60,000 euros fine by the club. Even his own teammates don't really know how to proceed with him because they have tried absolutely everything to try to bring him into the fold, and the guy seems to, have his own way of living and way of going. And the manager doesn't know what to do. Even Iago Aspas doesn't know what to do with Pione Sisto. But leaving this aside, I think that they need the win desperately, because if not, they could be overcome by many of the other contenders in the relegation race, and they could go down into the final 3 spots. On the other hand, Villarreal, they are more or less in the same situation earlier as Levante or Alaves, but in their case, their budget is so over the position they have right now in the table. They need to win because they need to be a European contender. Villarreal has been traditionally one of those teams in the last 15 or 20 years, and being out of European competitions for the second season in a row would be a disaster for them. So at least they need to make a run for that seventh spot, and they need to win against Celta this weekend.
Martin, we often forget the draw. There is an option. You have the win, you have the away win, and the draw. I look at these two and think they might cancel each other out.
Yeah, they may well do. Obviously, Villarreal were in dreadful form before the season was suspended. They lost 3 in a row, and their chances of securing European football really diminished. This is a huge game for Celta Vigo. They're the sort of team that often hit form towards the end of the campaign, drag themselves out of the relegation battle, and finish quite strongly. I really think they can pull it off. I think they've just got a lot more quality going forwards than the teams around them down there. Haven't scored many goals so far this season, but once you get Iago Aspas playing well, you've got Smolov and Denis Suarez either side of him. I just think they should have a full squad to choose from now. This all guns blazing for them. I think they can get a result against Villarreal in this one. I'm also a bit wary of the draw, but leaning towards Celta Vigo for this one. So I'm going to be Celta Vigo draw no bet at 1.91. Been on a long unbeaten streak before the break, and I think they can continue it.
That's a great price. 1.91 with draw no bet. That's unbelievable. I mean, could even go with maybe Celta Vigo. I mean, Celta Vigo at plus 160. That's great because obviously the desperation. And let's talk about desperation because in our next game, wow, this is fireworks. First game back. Do not lose this game. It's Leganes at plus 140, draw plus 200, and Valladolid at plus 250, Paco.
Yeah, well, desperation is going to be the main note being hit in this game, and possibly the team who loses this one might be one of the main contenders for going down, because this is so huge, as you said, Flash. Like, everything is going to be on the line. The desperation by Leganes under, Javier Aguirre, El Vasco Aguirre. He came earlier this season. He switched. He came to replace El Flaco Pellegrino, who was unable to turn around things when they were at the bottom of the league. And he has been able to pick up some very important points on that time. But at the same time, they are, they don't have the squad to be able to keep the kind of consistency needed in the last 11 games. I think Valladolid overall have a deeper squad. They have, at the same time, a higher budget, and that might be crucial in this game. So I see it very balanced. I think that Leganes' home ground is going to be absolutely cancelled because of the absence of fans. So I don't really know which bet would I make, but I think that Valladolid are slightly favorites in this one.
What about both teams to score, Paco?
Absolutely, because they defend horrendously. It has been one of the sore points in both managers this season, and even Aguirre has tried to make a point in that one and drive it home. He has been unable to make Leganes a very consistent team at the back. So, yeah, it could be absolutely a possibility.
Martin, a lot of these games, we might be best steering the clear of the winners market unless it's like a real stone-cold favourite. But, Alex, classic in this game for you?
I'm just keeping it simple with both teams to score in this one, Flash. Actually, both teams to score, yes, is the outsider in the betting. You can get 2.33 on both teams to score. Both teams to score, no, is odds-on favourite in that market. I think, that's just based on historical results. But yeah, I think this one can totally be both teams to score. It's a big relegation battle. There's a lot at stake. Leganes have a good record against Valladolid, but they've only kept 4 clean sheets all season in 27 games. Like Paco said, Valladolid also leaked goals. They had no clean sheets in 5 games before the break, and they just lost 4-1 to Atletico Bilbao. These are 2 teams that concede plenty of goals, and I just think that's really good odds, 2.33.
Oh, it's better than good. I mean, that could be an absolute gift come Saturday evening. Now, talking of gifts, you want a home game after you've had three months off, especially when you get all your points at home. Mallorca, plus 900. The draw, plus 460. The problem is, your visitors are Barcelona at minus 290, Paco.
Yeah, I think it's the most unbalanced game of the weekend because of the way Mallorca have developed the season. They have been unable to pick up points outside their home ground. And at the same time, receiving and hosting Barca this weekend is like the most toxic present ever, and the most toxic welcome back to football ever. Barca have Messi and all the usual stuff. Everyone says, every pundit says the same. But I also have to mention Luis Suarez, who had been injured in the first months of 2020, and he would never have played a single game this season. And suddenly, he's back to business, and he's going to be able to score goals again for Barca. So I think this one is so unbalanced. And Mallorca, would make someone very, very rich if they are able to suddenly upset and surprise and shock the football world with a win in this one.
There's a couple of ways of looking at this, Paco, because you could say that Mallorca playing Barcelona, and Mallorca is a really tough game for Barca because obviously the crowd, Mallorca's home form. Now, the only thing that we can think of to give Mallorca a chance is the mindset of the Barca players. But with the Real being so close to them in the table, they've got to go there and win the game.
Yeah, as you said earlier, also they have the slight advantage of the calendar and the match day fixtures. They are going to be able to settle the pace and the pressure, put the pressure upon Real Madrid every single week. So I think that they are going to do quite well. The motivation seems to be running high amongst the team, and I think that they are not going to get too relaxed regarding this game against one of the worst teams in La Liga, and you only have to take a look at the standings and the table.
Martin, do you trust Barca mentally to go there and get the job done?
Yeah, I do. Just like we've seen in Germany, just like we've seen elsewhere, the big teams have been winning on their first games back. Like Bayern Munich picked up, just can't stop winning in the Bundesliga, cruising to the title. I think Barcelona should be a similar story for them, really. Like Paco said, when you've got Luis Suarez and Lionel Messi up front, you can rip any team apart. And I fully expect them to. Someone like Messi's going to have been really frustrated not playing for all this time. I think he's going to be in great condition. He's going to be on fire. He's going to, and there's, like you say, there's not going to be a hostile crowd there. Mallorca's home advantage is pretty much wiped out. That's all they had going for them. I think Barcelona can go there and cruise to victory. Sometimes, when on the first game back, some of the players do get a bit tired in the second half. So I'm not sure it's going to be like 5-6, 7-0 or something like that. But I think they'll win by a couple of clear goals. So I think just go for Barcelona minus 1.5 Asian handicap. You can get 1.81 on that. You'll get a better price. You'll get more than even money if you go to minus 1.75 Asian handicap if you're feeling a bit bolder. Or you could go for Barcelona and under 4.5 goals at 1.8 if you like. Those sort of bets look good to me.
Yeah, and I'll just add a couple of them. What about Barcelona to win both halves? Barcelona to score in either half? Will Barcelona come out the traps? I think your whole betting success is going to be on whether Barcelona come out and whether they want to go and get the job done properly. Because remember, they've got in the back of their mind, they don't want to be getting injured. It's first week back, and they've got so many games. Now, they were all on Saturday. Now we're going to go to Sunday. And this is an absolute belter on Sunday. You got Atletico Bilbao, plus 250, the draw, plus 210. And Atletico Madrid at plus 141. Paco, that is a massive price for Madrid.
And it's also a massive game. One of the most traditional derbies between both Atleticos and Athletic. And they actually have a story together back in the day, around 100 years ago, with the foundation of one or the other. They had a strong bonding. And in the last 2-3 decades, they have diverged in the way they have developed their whole careers and stories. Atletico de Madrid becoming a powerhouse both in Spain and in Europe. Athletic Club trying to respect their grassroots and trying to respect their tradition with that Basque-only players in their squad. And this is going to be a huge disadvantage for them because San Mamés is a mighty ground to play and a mighty ground to face by any team, but it would be much less mightier for any single team who goes now and sees empty. So I think that advantage is out for Athletic Club and Athletic de Madrid, as said Martin earlier. They have to start to work right now because the race is going to be very, very important for them. They have found themselves suddenly sixth in the standings, and that is not the place Atletico de Madrid should be. They have been grown used to be third, second, third into Champions League spots, and they have a challenge ahead. And they must, as you said earlier, to hit the ground running if they want to try to climb up those different positions and get into the first four spots.
Mark, we're talking about intensity. We want sides to have a bit of intensity. They don't come more intensive than Madrid and obviously Simeone. He will be drumming it. This is my banker. At plus 141, around the plus 140, I expect Atletico to go there and get the win, Martin.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I think they can probably get the job done. A little bit nervous about Athletic Bilbao because they do have a very good home record, but as we know, that's probably going to be cancelled out due to the lack of fans. I'm just a little bit worried about the draw for Atletico Madrid. There's been 12 out of 27 of their games have finished in a draw this season. I do think they'll get up into those top three places, but I think they might start off all square in this one. So I was actually looking at the draw at odds of 3.12 for this one. But yeah, any sort of Atletico draw no bet, something like that, I would be very happy with.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong. I certainly wouldn't go against a Simeone side when everything and the big advantage is intensity. Wow, there is no more intense manager in the world of football. Now, we talked about lopsided games before. Let's go for Real. Minus 400, draw at plus 550. And poor old Eibar at plus 1100, Paco.
Yeah, you said it. Poor Eibar, because they are going to face Real Madrid with everyone in form, rested, eager to play. Gareth Bale is ready, even though he had some physical problems earlier this week, but he should be available for the team. Eden Hazard has returned after his injury. Sergio Ramos is ready. Everyone is ready. Benzema, the whole squad is available for, most of the squad is available for Zinedine Zidane. So I expect greatness by Real Madrid because they need the win also to keep that pressure upon Barca. At the same time, this is going to be a race of the two horses looking at each other every single weekend. And unfortunately for Eibar, they are going to be the victim in this story. So I don't really think they will be able to keep that tightly knitted defense and be able to, defend and reject every single attack. But that could be one of the options. I don't really think it's going to happen, but Eibar has shown in the past that in big stadiums, even though this one is going to be empty, they are able to deliver. Though Real Madrid are clear favorites and they should win in a landslide.
Yeah, I mean, the big one here, Martin, is that Barcelona, as we said, they're going to play on Saturday. So if you just hang fire with your bets until Sunday and have a look, and if Barcelona win, then you can fill your boots with Real Madrid, and that is to score both halves, -1, -2, win both halves. Martin, where have you found value?
Yeah, I think Real Madrid can go and crush Eibar in this game. They're fighting for the title. It's a must-win game. Like you both said, Real Madrid are going to have all their big players back. It's time for the likes of Eden Hazard to make an impact because he hasn't really turned it on since moving to Spain. If Gareth Bale can come on, like I said earlier, if you've got an impact substitute in the second half that's got the sort of pace of Gareth Bale, he can frighten some of those Eibar players. They beat Eibar 4-0 earlier in the season on the road. Even at an empty Bernabeu, I think they can demolish them, really. If you keep it simple, Real Madrid 1.5 Asian handicap is 1.75. Looks like a very good price to me. But yeah, I'd happily push it to -1.75, even -2 if you're looking for a bit more value.
Okay, yeah, I think Real Madrid do the business. Okay, and we're going to go with the last game, Paco, and it's Real Sociedad at -133, the draw, +300, and Osasuna, who not many people mention, at +375.
Yeah, clash of two different styles, opposite styles. I think that Real Sociedad have shown this season. I talked earlier about him, Manuel Alguacil. He has been, in my view, the coach of the year. He has delivered excellent play style for his players, Martin Odegaard. We've seen plenty of Real Sociedad players on the highlights every single week, and they are the favorites for this one because they have finally something to fight for. In the last couple of seasons, at the end of the year, they got to a position where they were not realizing their full potential. But this year they are doing that, and they are fighting for the Champions League places. And that's something very special for the Real Sociedad fans. So I think that they are very, very superior at this point, both in play style and physical progress and squad, to Osasuna, who I think that they are the most relaxed team in the whole La Liga 20 sides. I think that they are just in the middle with 34 points. They are not going to go down. Their difference is still very, very important regarding the teams who are playing for avoiding relegation. But at the same time, they know it's very tough to be able to cling to that European race. So I think that they might try to fight those home games that are remaining for them in Pamplona and call it a day. So in this one, I think Real Sociedad is the clear favorite.
I couldn't agree more, Paco. Martin, it's one of them games. Don't complicate it. Just get on Real Sociedad at -133.
Yeah, I also couldn't agree more. It's just Osasuna are the sort of team that's really going to struggle for motivation in the remaining weeks of the season. We've seen it in the Bundesliga. Those mid-table teams have had terrible results. I think the same thing's going to happen in the Premier League when it starts up again. You know, the likes of Crystal Palace and, teams around that sort of mid-table aren't going to fare very well at all. Whereas Real Sociedad, they're fighting for Champions League football. Like Paco said, I've loved watching them go forward this season with Oyarzabal and Martin Odegaard's been on fire. Really, really quality, real good technical players going forward. So I think they'll get the job done. I was looking at under 4.5 goals for a bit more value, and then I remembered that it was 4-3 when they met earlier in the season. So I'm definitely not going to go with unders. I'm like you say, just keep it simple. Straight Real Sociedad win, 1.7 or -133. Go for it.
Yeah, and you could also do Real Sociedad and over 1.5. I think that's probably your moral. I can see them winning this 2-3-0, 3-1. Listen, it's great. I'm so excited to have these games back, and I love the way that they're split. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And listen, there's no breather. We'll be back next week, and you will not miss any of the games. Martin, will you give me a recap and try and find me a banker, please?
Sure thing, Flash. I'm going to go for both teams to score in that Sevilla versus Real Betis game at 1.78. Getafe draw no bet at 1.71 against Granada. Passing the next two games. Then I'm going to go for Celta Vigo draw no bet against Villarreal at 1.91.
Yeah, great price.
Both teams to score in Leganes versus Valladolid at 2.33. -1.5 Asian handicap for Barcelona at 1.81 against Mallorca. Just leaning towards the draw in that Athletic v Atletico game at 3.12, but your love of Atletico is putting me off a bit. So maybe take that one with a pinch of salt. Once again, Real Madrid -1.5 Asian handicap at 1.74 against Eibar. And Real Sociedad just to beat Osasuna 1.7. For a banker, I mean, you can't really look past Real Sociedad, but then I can't look past Real Madrid and Barcelona either. If you put those three in a treble, I'd be very happy with them. But just for an outright banker, I'll go for Barcelona to go and win away at Mallorca.
Yeah, there's a lot of confidence in a lot of them bets, Martin. I thought you might have gone for Celta Vigo. Draw no bet at 1.91. Now, listen, I hope you've all enjoyed this video as much as we have. So give Paco his thumbs up, press the subscribe button, ring the bell, and we will notify you, and you will not miss any more content. We will let you know. And also, if you want to press the link, we've got articles over on our soccer page at sportsbookreview.com. Martin, cheers, mate. Have a great week.
Flash, you too. Thanks, Flash.
Muchas gracias, Paco.
Muchas gracias a vosotros. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Ciao. That's La Liga all worked out. Many winners. We'll see you again soon. You take care.